Hey guys, welcome back. It's Neon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
Are you feeling very sparkly today?
Not with the meds they put me on.
Not with the meds. Yeah, Geeky's on some meds now. She wasn't feeling very well. They gave her some medicine, and she's not as ranty. Not as ranty.
I don't feel like myself. If you all ask me what's wrong with me all the time because I don't act like myself, I don't like it.
Geeky's like, she's kind of like spacing out a little bit here.
I don't like it.
No, that's how I am.
I don't feel like me.
She doesn't feel like her.
Neon looked at me yesterday and say, "Blink twice if you're." What did you say? If you're screaming inside or something like that. You know. Anyway.
Oh my God! So we're gonna talk about Shazam. Shazam, which is coming out the end of next week. Some people have already seen it. They said it was very good. They passed that along.
I wish I knew about that preview. I would have gone to that.
I think they had it in Pittsburgh. I think they had it in Pittsburgh. We didn't get a chance to see it. But now we're starting to get that DCEU, MCU, Marvel DC rivalry going up again. It's starting up again because, we've got Shazam, who was actually DC's Captain Marvel, versus Captain Marvel.
Right. And then there was a lot of talk about, I'm not going to go see Captain Marvel. I'm going to see the real Captain Marvel, which is Shazam, and all that. So this is, I think, in response to that.
And then Zach Levi had to come out and be like, oh, no, I like Brie Larson, okay? Don't boycott the movie because of me. I'm a good guy. Don't do that.
Yeah.
So the internet's angry.
When isn't the internet angry?
The internet's always angry, but
like
actually...
me. I'm always angry.
Well, not now. Now since you're on the pills.
I just feel weird. Anyway.
You're not as angry.
No, I'm still angry. I just don't feel it as much. Anyway.
Okay.
So
this is coming from comicbook.com. Shazam filmmaker calls DC and Marvel rivalry bullshit. I think. Or bullshit.
Is that a bad word?
Bullshit.
Bullshit.
Has to be the missing word.
Missing letter? Bullshit.
Missing letter. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not on meds, but sometimes I feel like
you're not drinking either.
No.
I don't think I'm allowed to drink now. Anyway, go ahead.
A friendly rivalry can go a long way, especially when it comes to the long-time competition between Marvel and DC Comics. Over the last few decades, the two publishers have dominated the comic book market, but the fandoms tend to take the competition to another extreme.
Oh, please.
Especially when the premieres of Shazam and Captain Marvel and the announcement that the Suicide Squad director James Gunn would be returning. What does that have to do with anything?
Nothing. They just have to get it in there.
What does that have to do with anything?
Nothing.
Shazam producer Peter Safran isn't a fan of the rivalry. I've always believed that which unites comic book fans is much greater than that which divides us.
Okay, I'm going to stop you right here. Yes, most people agree with that. But it's the media who perpetuates this whole thing that, you don't like something, you're bad this. If that those who like it are somehow superior to those who don't. So this idea that, we have more in common than we don't has always been the case. But for whatever reason, the last couple years, they're the ones perpetuating this.
Clickbait, and it's sites like comicbook.com, it's sites like Comic Book Resources. The Mary Sue, bleeding cool. They like their clicks. Safran explained this to Uprocks, another clickbait clickbait site. And so the whole Marvel DC rivalry thing is kind of bullshit because we're really all fans of the same thing.
We used to be.
I love the fact that he's directed a movie for Marvel and a movie for DC, so he's talking about James Gunn, and the Earth is not spinning off its axis. It's okay.
Whatever.
Director David Sandberg addressed the rivalry between the two franchises, downplaying the hostility and differences between the two. When I was a kid in Sweden, I really didn't know about DC or Marvel, just comic books and superheroes, mostly ducks.
I was saying it's mostly ducks.
It's mostly ducks over there. It's Donald and Uncle Scrooge. One of my favorites was one where they had a team up between Superman and Spider-Man. I do remember that. To me, that wasn't something strange. I was like, yeah, they're both superheroes. Why not? It wasn't something special. Those kinds of crossovers have become few and far between, from the New Teen Titans and Uncanny X-Men crossover to Amalgam Universe. That was weird. Amalgam was weird. It was like they took Marvel and DC characters and like Frankenstein them together. It was just all kinds of weird. To the latest team up of the Avengers and Justice League, another crossover seems unlikely because it's the movie studios.
Right, yeah, that's why, yeah.
But support across the lines is in full force between the movie divisions, especially with the newest movies. Sandberg and Shazam stars Zach Levi have supported Brie Larson's Captain Marvel.
Has Brie Larson and them come out and supported Zachary Levi?
I don't know.
That's just a good question I'm asking. I mean,
I don't know.
They're across the lines, but has Marvel people come out and supported?
Has she reciprocated?
Shazam?
Probably not. But
I'm
I don't
just asking because I'm like, they're saying it's in full force compromise and support. I see it on one side.
That hasn't stopped fans from acting out anytime one of the films is mentioned on social media. Acting out.
Yes, and they guess who they're talking about. Anyway, I love this. This is my
How
favorite
is this
part.
even an article?
I don't even know.
How is this an article? Hopefully we can all find common ground in the fact that these are all entertaining superheroes and stop trying to argue over which has the better Rotten Tomatoes score or which has the biggest box office take.
Oh, let's talk about this for a minute. You mean like, I agree. You mean like when people were mad about Captain Marvel's coming out, but Alita was out? All these pop culture journalists were going on about how bad Alita was and finding some problems with Alita, and then the Rotten Tomato score for Alita was high, and then then all the weird stuff happened with Captain Marvel and the Rotten Tomato score. Maybe the people were upset because the Rotten Tomatoes scores were completely changed just to artificially inflate, Captain Marvel. Maybe that has something to do with it. The fact that negative reviews were not counted, but all the positive ones, including the ones that seem like they were bots or campaigns to artificially inflate it, counted. Maybe that's why people have problems with Rotten Tomato scores. But I'm just saying they had no problems with this divide when it was Alita and Captain Marvel.
Yeah, because before it was like, it's so weird because the story for Alita was like, they're just... Those alt-right Nazis are just, they have it in for Captain Marvel and they're supporting this other movie with a female lead that she's not even white, but
how dare they?
How dare they? How dare they?
Is, like Alita, I mean to me it seems so strange because they keep going on about I need more women in films and how we need more women like starring roles and things, and they have two. And instead of being happy about that, they're like trying to bring Alita down the whole time to raise Captain Marvel up, and you'd think they'd just be happy to have two. I would have been like, yeah, hell yeah. No. That's problematic that there's two.
That is
there can only be one.
They're just like Highlander.
It's like there can only be one Captain Marvel.
Female superhero Highlander. So now, okay, so there's already some stuff going on with
there could
Shazam.
be only one.
Yeah, so
We're
the same news outlets that were kind of totally in favor of Captain Marvel at the expense of Alita. Now they're like, hey, Shazam is going to have the lowest DCEU opening weekend. Shazam's not going to make any money. And this was like 2 weeks ago. It's just not going to... It's going to have the lowest box office opening for any DC movie to date.
I wasn't even hearing that.
Yeah.
Everybody I'm talking to is like, I want to see Shazam.
It's going to be... there have been smash hits like Aquaman and Wonder Woman, misfires like Justice League, and those that fall somewhere in between. Man of Steel. Nevertheless, the future looks pretty bright for DC's superhero franchise. Except for this one being a fail. It's going to be a fail. And then this here too. Does the DCU have another hit on its hands? And they're like, oh, it's going to be a huge hit. And you get down here and they're like, oh, it's only going to make between 40 and 60 million. And then it's probably...
Wait, what? You're scanning around so fast. I can't even see. Wait, they're forecasting open weekend 40 to 60 million for Shazam, since the best case scenario would take to exceed those expectations.
So they're saying the best case for Shazam is 40 to 60 million. The worst case is that it dies an early death because of Endgame coming out in a few weeks. So everybody's like, oh, doom and gloom. It'll do okay. It's not going to do so hot. It's not going to do so hot. Then this happened 2 days ago. Shazam made more money than Aquaman preview screenings.
I know a lot of people went to the previews. A lot of people were posting they went. I wish I'd gone, dang it. Anyway.
So... Again, we're kind of seeing. I mean, there does seem to be a little bit of a bias toward the Marvel side of things. I think. Mm-hmm. I think with a lot of these pop culture blogs, we talked before we recorded this, and Geeky's like, well, it probably depends on which studio is paying more.
Yeah, or who owns who.
Yeah, and it is interesting though, because I mean, you see that a lot of the pop culture blogs were sort of like. They were the ones instigating the Marvel versus DC shenanigans on Rotten Tomatoes. That was sort of stoking the fire there, and the trolls were out, artificially inflating the scores on Justice League. The trolls are out against Captain Marvel. So this is going to be interesting. Aquaman was not predicted to make as much money as it made. Aquaman surprised a lot of people. I didn't think Aquaman was going to do that well. But Aquaman went on to make over $1 billion. Mm-hmm. I don't know if Shazam's going to be $1 billion movie, but I think 40 to 60 million might be on the low side.
Yeah, I think it's on the low side too.
Because a lot of people are talking about this movie.
A lot of people. I mean, I see everybody saying that they want to see it, and you know what? It's not because they want to see Shazam over Captain Marvel. A lot of people saw Captain Marvel and they're going to go see Shazam too. So I'm like, but I just thought it was funny that the person was saying, why can't we all just like it and get along? And we have more in common. And I'm like, because you know what? That's what people like us have been saying for the last couple years, and we're constantly slapped down because if you don't 100% agree with certain people, you get called names. So why can't we get along? I don't know. Ask those people.
Yeah, I think, again, the pop culture blogs have a huge role to play in all the fan infighting. They thrive on it. They stoke it. You know, and that's a lot of what we've been talking about here on Derezed on Clownfish TV is the pop culture media and how they tend to be not on the fans' side. They tend to not really take the fans' best interests into mind.
Yeah.
They're just all about the clicks and doing what the studio wants them to do.
Yeah, and that's what we've been saying. So
I don't know. Is there anything else we want to add to this one?
No, just that, I thought it was funny this guy said that, and it's like that's not what everybody wants. That's what everybody's been saying.
I know, right?
I mean, that's what everybody keeps saying, and they're just like, well, that's not true. And I'm like, that's what everybody wants. It's you people over there that keep like, well, if you don't like what we like, then you're just the misogynist, you're sexist, you can't stand strong females. Like,
you're a Russian bot.
That's right. No, I just didn't like your movie. Sometimes people just don't like something, and that's okay. There's more in common. Everybody have in common than they don't have in common, and that's the truth of it. So
yeah. So I don't think there really is a rivalry here at all. I think the only rivalry is like the pop
culture and the fans.
Yeah, the pop culture media versus the actual fans. The fan media versus basically the media installed to, I think, control the opinions of fandom versus the actual fans. That's where the conflict actually is. It's not in factions of fandom fighting over a movie. It's
I know. So many people disagree with me on things, and we still get along.
Yeah.
And it's totally cool because there's more that we have in common and other things that we don't, and it's cool. I mean, I'm not telling people they can't like things. I always say you can like it if you want, and you can not like it if you want. There's nothing wrong with you either way. And most people like that. Until recently, that was completely fine. And now, if you don't like something, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, well, there's a lot going on behind the scenes, I think, with this. But I think it's just becoming more and more apparent that these blogs are not acting in fans' best interest, and it might be time for some of them to go away.
I think that's going to happen either way.
Yeah.
So all right.
Okay, so let's wrap this one up. Thanks so much for watching Clownfish TV. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, rants, gaming videos, art videos, and more. This has been Neon and Geeky.
Bye.
Goodbye. Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.